The warning you never expect but always need. Let me tell you something. Life has a way of sending you signals at the exact moment you think you have everything under control. You're going through your day, doing what you always do, thinking nothing is wrong. And then out of nowhere, something hits you. A moment that feels like the ground shifts under your feet, a message, a sign, a feeling in your gut that something is not right. And even though you didn't want it, you needed it. These moments come without warning, but they carry the power to wake you up. Maybe it's someone showing you their true colors. Maybe it's a mistake that exposes something deeper. Maybe it's a sudden silence from someone you trusted. These things feel painful at first, but they often protect you from something worse. Think of people who stayed in a job that drained them until one day they were pushed out. It felt like the end, but later they realized it was the start of a better chapter. Think of someone who held on to a relationship that slowly broke them until a sudden argument revealed the truth they ignored for years. Life doesn't use these moments to punish you. It uses them to pull you out of places you don't belong. The warning you never expect often becomes the doorway to the strength you didn't know you had. Life speaks before it breaks you, but are you listening? Life always speaks before it shouts. Before things fall apart, the signs are already there. You feel the shift. You feel the tension. You feel the discomfort. But instead of acting on it, most people tell themselves it will get better. They hope the stress will fade. They hope the person will change. They hope the situation will fix itself. Hope is good, but ignoring what you feel is not. Think about a car making a strange sound. You hear it, you know something's wrong, but you keep driving because the car still moves. Then one day, it stops in the middle of the road. That's how life works. The small signs are warnings. The big collapse is the result of ignoring them. People feel drained long before they break. They feel unsafe long before anything happens. They feel tired long before they collapse. Someone in a job that crushes their spirit feels it months before they finally quit. A person in a relationship that drains them feels it long before they walk away. Life whispers. But if you don't listen, the whisper becomes a lesson you didn't want taught. So ask yourself, are you listening to what life is trying to tell you? Because life does not stay silent forever. The questions that shake you awake, there are questions that feel like a punch to the chest. Questions that stop you mid-step. Questions that make you look in the mirror with honesty you've been avoiding. These are the questions that shake you awake. What are you holding on to that keeps hurting you? What truth have you buried because you're scared to face it? What signs did you ignore because you didn't want to accept what they meant? And how long will you pretend everything is fine when your heart knows the truth? These questions are not meant to scare you. They are meant to free you. Think of someone who stayed in the wrong circle of friends for years because they feared being alone. One day, they asked themselves, why am I giving so much to people who give so little? That one question changed their path. Or someone who kept ignoring their own dreams because they feared failing, until they asked, why am I living a life that doesn't feel like mine? That question opened the door to a new beginning. Questions can shake you, but they can also save you, because the right question can cut through the lies you've been telling yourself and expose the truth you need to see. When life whispers, run. Don't wait for it to scream. Life rarely jumps straight to shouting. It whispers first. It gives you hints. It gives you signals. It gives you moments that tell you to step back, to walk away, to protect yourself. But many people wait. They wait for proof. They wait for more pain. They wait for a moment so big that they can no longer deny it. And by then, the damage is deeper, heavier, harder to escape. If something feels wrong, it usually is. If someone drains your peace, they usually will again. If a place feels unsafe, it usually has a reason. Think of a person who ignored their stress for years because they thought they could handle it until their body forced them to stop. Or someone who ignored the disrespect in their home because they hoped it would pass until the day everything exploded. If life is whispering, that means it is giving you a chance to act early. It is giving you a chance to choose yourself before you lose yourself. It is giving you a chance to walk away before the damage becomes harder to repair. Don't wait for life to scream. Don't wait for the breaking point. When life whispers, run, listen, because that whisper might be the very thing that saves. You doubt the storm starts long before the first thunder. The storm in your life never begins with loud moments. It begins quietly. It shows up as heaviness in your chest, a tightness in your neck, or stress you cannot explain. You wake up tired even after a full night's sleep. You walk into a room and feel like the air is thicker. You talk to someone and feel your energy drop, even if their words sound kind on the surface. These are not random feelings. They are warnings. Life doesn't wait for the thunder to shake you. It gives you early signs, soft signs, small shifts. But most people ignore them because they hope things will get better on their own. Let me tell you something. Storms don't fix themselves. They grow. And the longer you keep pretending the clouds are harmless, the harder the rain hits. Think about the times you felt uneasy before a situation exploded. Think about the days you felt drained before someone finally revealed who they really were. The storm always shows itself early. The question is, are you paying attention? When the energy shifts, your spirit knows first the tone changes. The energy shifts, the peace disappears. These things happen long before anything big goes wrong. Your spirit is the first to sense it. You feel it in the way someone talks to you. You feel it in the pauses between their words. You feel it in the silence that suddenly feels heavy. Your spirit is smarter than your hopes. It sees what your heart refuses to admit. When the energy shifts, your spirit whispers, pay attention. But most people don't. They tell themselves they're imagining things. They give extra chances. They wait for proof. But by the time the proof arrives, the damage is deeper. Think about how many times you felt something was off, but you stayed because you didn't want to believe it. Think of the moments you forced yourself to smile even though your body was telling you something was wrong. Your spirit is trying to protect you. It always speaks first. The problem is that you keep turning down the volume because you don't want the truth to interrupt your comfort. Small warnings become big disasters. When you ignore them, life doesn't punish you without warning. It warns you softly first. A raised voice, a sudden coldness, everyday stress that turns into daily pressure, a small lie you brush off, a boundary you allow someone to cross because you don't want conflict. These are not accidents. They are red flags. And when you ignore them, they grow. Little warnings turn into full disasters. A small crack in the wall becomes a collapse. A tiny leak becomes a flood. You know this from real life. Think about a famous athlete who ignored a small injury and kept pushing until the injury became a career-ending problem. Think about people who stay in draining situations, hoping it will change until the weight becomes too much to carry. That's how life works. What you avoid today becomes the storm you face tomorrow. Tough truth. When life whispers the first warning and you ignore it, you teach the problem how to grow. What's draining your peace and why are you still carrying it? Ask yourself something real. What exactly is draining your peace? Is it a situation, a person, a habit you refuse to break, or a mindset that keeps you trapped in old pain? Many people carry heavy loads simply because they've carried them for years. Habit makes pain feel normal, but normal does not mean safe. You keep calling the weight responsibility, when in reality, it's slowly breaking you. You keep saying, I can handle it, even though every day your spirit grows weaker. Why? Why do you protect things that hurt you? Why do you guard routines that steal your energy? Think about someone who keeps returning to the same arguments, the same stress, the same people who never change. Deep down, you know what is draining you. The real question is why you're still holding it. Peace cannot grow in the places that keep cutting you. Familiar pain is still pain. Stop calling it home. People stay in harmful places, not because the place is good, but because the pain is familiar. You get used to the raised voices. You get used to the tension. You get used to being the one who fixes everything. Over time, the pain starts to feel like just how life is. But familiar pain is still pain. Think about someone who grew up in a loud home and later believes loud behavior is normal in relationships. Think about workers who stay in toxic jobs because they fear starting over. Familiar pain tricks you. It feels safe only because you've lived with it for so long. But if something hurts your peace every day, it is not home. It is a trap dressed as comfort. And until you admit that, nothing changes. Comfort can become the silent enemy of your growth. Comfort feels safe, but it can slowly weaken your spirit. Comfort keeps you repeating old patterns. Comfort keeps you in the same place. Comfort tells you, don't move, don't change. Just stay where you are. But staying where you are is often the reason you feel stuck. Think about a student who never studies because passing with minimum effort is comfortable. Think about someone who never tries a new path because staying in the old one feels easier. Comfort can be more dangerous than pain because pain wakes you up, but comfort keeps you asleep. When you're comfortable, you stop asking for better. You stop reaching, you stop growing. And slowly, you shrink into a life that feels too small for who you could be. A beautiful cage is still a cage. Some situations look good from the outside, but feel like a prison from the inside. A relationship that looks perfect in photos, but drains you in private. A job with a nice title, but no joy. A lifestyle that impresses others, but suffocates you. That's a beautiful cage. It looks shiny, but it keeps you trapped. Think about people who stay in perfect-looking homes while feeling empty inside. Think about famous personalities who had everything on the outside but felt lost on the inside. A cage doesn't stop being a cage just because it's decorated. If you can't breathe, if you can't grow, if you can't be yourself, you are not living. You are surviving inside walls that look pretty but feel tight. How long will you protect what's breaking you? You defend things that hurt you. You explain behavior that drains you. You hold on to people who wouldn't hold on to you the same way. You tell yourself it's not that bad, even though deep down you know it is. Let me ask you something. Sharp, how long will you protect what is breaking you? How long will you carry weight that only grows heavier? Think of someone who keeps returning to the same routine, even though it steals their peace every single day. Think of people who choose silence just to keep the peace, even though that silence destroys them slowly. At some point you have to choose yourself. At some point you have to stop explaining the pain and start escaping it. The truth is simple. What you protect becomes what you live with. If you protect your pain, you will live inside it. The night everything inside you finally speaks, there comes a night when you can't run from yourself anymore. Not from your thoughts, not from the pressure in your chest, not from the truth you've been pushing aside for far too long. It doesn't happen suddenly. It builds slowly. Day after day, you feel something inside you getting heavier. You feel the weight of pretending. You feel the sting of being silent when you should have spoken. And then one night, everything inside you finally speaks. It's the night when your own voice becomes louder than your fears. It's the night you stop trying to explain away the things that never made sense. It's the night when the truth steps out from the shadows and stands right in front of you. You can't hide from it. You can't talk over it. You can't soften it. You sit in the dark and realize you've known the truth for a long time. You just weren't ready to admit it. That night isn't your breaking point. It's your awakening. Because when everything inside you finally speaks, you are face to face with a life you can no longer pretend to live. When reality hits harder than the lies you believed, reality is sharp. It cuts through your hopes. It cuts through the stories you told yourself to stay calm. It cuts through the lies you believed because the truth was too painful to face. There comes a moment when everything becomes clear at once. Someone's tone, their actions, the pressure you ignored, the doubts you pushed aside. Suddenly, the pieces fit. Suddenly, the signs you overlooked make sense. You see their intentions, not their excuses. You see how long you've been bending yourself to make things work. You see the damage you didn't want to admit existed. And reality hits harder than any lie because it shows you how much time you spent trying to convince yourself things were fine. Think about the times you trusted your hope instead of your instincts. Think about how many small warnings you brushed off because you wanted to believe things would change. When the truth finally arrives, it doesn't knock. It walks straight in and shows you everything you've been avoiding. And in that moment, you feel both pain and relief. The pain of seeing the truth and the relief of no longer having to pretend. The truth doesn't whisper. Forever sometimes it breaks you awake. The truth starts soft. A feeling, a shift, a quiet discomfort, but it doesn't stay quiet forever. When you keep ignoring it, the truth stops whispering and starts shaking you awake. That's the night you stop pretending. That's the night you stop running in circles. That's the night you finally see. You see how long you've been carrying a weight that was never yours. You see how long you've been adjusting to chaos just to keep the peace. And the truth, once it breaks you awake, doesn't leave room for excuses. It stands tall and demands to be faced. Think about a moment in your life when everything became clear at once. Maybe it was a conversation where someone showed their true colors. Maybe it was a quiet night when you realized you couldn't keep living this way. Truth has its own way of breaking the walls you build around it, and when it comes, it doesn't ask for permission. It forces you to see what you've been scared to accept. What truth are you still afraid to face? You can face the world all day long, but the real battle is facing yourself. What truth are you still afraid to face? The truth about a person you keep protecting? The truth about a situation you know is draining your life? Or the truth about your own habits, your own patterns, your own fears? Self-confrontation is the hardest kind. It strips away every excuse you've been hiding behind. It asks you why you stayed, why you tolerated what hurt you, why you kept going back to the same pain expecting a different outcome. Look at your life right now. What are you holding on to that's holding you back? What have you been calling normal, even though it steals your peace every day? What truth is sitting in front of you, waiting for you to stop running? Until you face it, nothing changes. Truth doesn't disappear just because you avoid it. It grows louder, heavier, clearer, until facing it is the only way forward. You can't save what was never safe for you. There is a hard truth many people don't want to admit. You can't save what was never safe for you. Some situations were never meant to support you. Some relationships were never meant to protect you. Some environments were never meant to help you grow. Yet you keep trying. You give your time. You give your energy. You bend yourself just to keep peace with things that bring you nothing but stress. But trying to save what hurts you only destroys you slowly. Think about someone who stays in a damaging place because they believe patience will fix everything. Think about a person who keeps giving chances to someone who uses every chance to cause pain. You can't fix what refuses to change. You can't save what was never safe. Tough truth. Your peace will never survive in a place that feeds on your silence. Walk away from what tries to control, drain, or diminish you. There is power in walking away. Real power, not anger. Not fear, power, when someone tries to control. You walk away. When a situation drains you every single day, walk away. When a place makes you smaller, walk away. It doesn't matter if the person says they care. It doesn't matter if the situation looks good from the outside. If it steals your peace, you don't owe it your life. Think of people who finally walked away from a job that suffocated them. Think of someone who walked out of a relationship that kept breaking them. Their strength didn't come from staying. It came from leaving. Walking away isn't losing. It's choosing yourself over chaos. Protect your mind. Guard your peace. Choose yourself first. Your mind is the engine of your life. Protect it. Your peace is the roof over your spirit. Guard it. Your well-being is your responsibility. Choose yourself first. When someone tries to pull you into their chaos, step back. When a situation pressures you to shrink, stand firm. When your spirit says, something feels wrong, listen. These are not just commands. They're survival tools. Think about people who kept giving until they had nothing left. Think about how different their life became the day they decided to put themselves first. Peace is not selfish. Protecting your mind is not selfish. Choosing yourself is not selfish. It is how you survive. It is how you grow. You are the gatekeeper. Stop giving access to what breaks you. Your life has a gate. Not everyone should enter it. You are the gatekeeper. You decide who gets in. You decide who stays. You decide who leaves. But somewhere along the way, you stopped guarding your own gates. You let people in just because they knocked. You let situations stay just because they felt familiar. And now you're asking why you feel unsafe in your own life? Let me ask you real questions. Who are you allowing too much access to? Who takes your energy but gives nothing back? Who grows stronger while you grow weaker? You are the gatekeeper. Close the gates that lead to pain. Open the ones that lead to peace. Running isn't fear, it's how you save your life. People say running is weakness, but that's not true. Running from danger is how you save your life. Running from what drains you is how you stay sane. Running from what breaks you is how you survive. Fear keeps you frozen. Wisdom tells you when to move. Think about someone who left a harmful place and rebuilt everything from zero. They didn't run from life, they ran toward a safer one. Leaving isn't losing. Staying in danger is know the difference between escape and wisdom. There is a difference between running from growth and running from danger. Running from growth keeps you stuck. Running from danger keeps you alive. When you walk away from a chance that could help you grow, that's fear. But when you walk away from something that keeps hurting you, that's wisdom. Think of the student who avoids challenges, that's escape. Think of the person who leaves a dangerous situation, that's wisdom. Learn the difference. It matters. Even the strong walk away when something drains their power. Even lions walk away from what weakens them. Even the strongest people withdraw from what drains their strength. Strength is not only shown in how much you can take. Real strength shows in knowing when you've had enough. If the strongest creatures on earth know when to leave, why don't you? When something takes more than it gives, when it weakens your spirit, when it dims your light, walking away is not defeat, it is protection. You're allowed to leave, heal, and start over. You are allowed to leave. You are allowed to heal. You are allowed to start over. Say it again until every part of you believes it. You don't have to stay stuck in old pain. You don't have to keep proving your worth in places that can't see it. You don't have to keep rebuilding what keeps falling apart. You're allowed to step into a new chapter. Healing doesn't require permission. Starting over doesn't. Require approval. Your new life begins where your old pain ends. A new life doesn't start when everything is perfect. It starts when you decide the old pain has taken enough from you. When you stop giving your energy to what drains you. When you stop reopening doors that lead to the same hurt. Think of people who turned their life around the moment they let go of what broke them. Your new life is waiting. But it starts where your old pain ends. Your future won't. Grow in the soil where your peace died. Your peace is the soil of your future. When peace dies, nothing good can grow there. You can't plant hope in a place that kills it. You can't grow love in a place that suffocates it. You can't build a future in an environment that keeps harming your spirit. Think about someone who tried to succeed while surrounded by negativity. Nothing changed for them until they changed where they stood. Your future needs space. It needs light. It needs peace. You can't walk toward light while staring at your darkness if you keep looking back at what hurt you. You can't move toward what heals you. You cannot walk forward while staring in the wrong direction. Darkness teaches you, but it cannot lead you. Let it be part of your story, not your path. Think about people who kept replaying their past until they finally decided to focus on the future instead. The moment they shifted their gaze, the path opened. What future is waiting for you when you finally let go? Imagine a future where you are not held down by old pain. A future where you can breathe freely, where your choices are not shaped by fear. That future exists, but you reach it only when you let go. What could your life look like if you finally released what hurts you? What could you build if you stopped returning to what breaks you? The first step doesn't have to be huge. It just has to be honest. This is your note, your warning, your wake-up call. Life hands you warnings in quiet ways. Sometimes in the form of stress, sometimes in the form of pressure, sometimes in the form of a truth you can't ignore anymore. This is that moment. This is your note. This is your warning. This is life saying, wake up. You don't need a disaster to push you. You don't need a broken moment to see clearly. This is your sign before the fall. Do not return to what hurt you. Do not go back to the places that crush your peace. Do not let old pain convince you that you owe it more of your life. Do not return to patterns that drained your energy. Walking back into what hurt you isn't loyalty, it's self-destruction. You've already seen what that place does to you. You already know how it feels. Don't repeat the lesson. Save yourself from the cycle that almost broke you. This is your sign. Your turning point starts now. Every person has a moment that shifts their life. This is yours. This is the line between who you were and who you can still become. This is the moment when your heart says, enough. This is your sign. This is your turning point. This is the moment where everything begins to change. You don't need permission. You don't need perfect plans. You just need to take the step, walk forward, and don't look back. The life you want is ahead of you, not behind you. The peace you need is ahead of you. The healing you deserve is ahead of you. Walk forward, even if your steps are slow, even if your voice shakes, even if you're scared. Walk forward and don't look back. What's behind you had its chance. What's ahead of you still has room to grow.